Hello, and thank you for stopping by the 741 channel today. The subject of today's video is my sister's 2004 Ford Ranger. And as you can see here, it's got a little bit of damage. So I feel partly responsible for this damage, and I'll explain why. I was getting ready to leave the driveway here in my Tahoe, and I was at the end of the driveway, and my sister was driving by. She saw me, and she wanted to ask me a question. So she stopped a little ways up the road and went to back up to talk to me. And when she did, she got a little bit out of kilter and hit a guardrail that's up there a little bit, and that's what did all this damage. So what we're going to try and do here is try and pull this back fender away from the wheel so that the mud flap isn't rubbing on the wheel. So the fortunate part of this whole mess is that my sister was actually on her way to drop this truck off at its new owner. And the person is going to use this truck sort of as a yard truck or a wood truck or something like that. Mostly because the frame on this thing is just like my old Dodge Dakota, getting really shot. And on this side it's not so bad. You can't really see any signs of damage here from what I'm showing, other than of course the quarter panel. But over here on the driver's side, you can see that the frame is actually cracked pretty bad and rusted here. So that's why she was deciding to take it off the road. Just wasn't safe anymore. I think there were a few other things that might have been wrong with it that needed to be repaired too. So at least this isn't going to be her daily driver anymore, so that's a good thing. But anyway, in an effort to get the thing across town to its new owner, we'll try and pull this out a little bit just so that's not rubbing on the tire. Okay, let's give this a shot NASCAR style.
NASCAR? What does NASCAR style mean? Well, it is busted.
Okay, so I got another idea to try, and if this doesn't work, then it's time to get the come along.
Daddy, what's the come along?
You'll see. Okay, as you can see, I'm having a little progress. It's not pretty, but it's working. But what I need to do now is move you guys out of the way. All right, let's keep going on this. I apologize for the funny angle. as you can see, I've got that bent out a little bit, at least enough to get the mud flap off of there so it's not rubbing on the tire. Okay, had to take a quick break there, but I'm going to try and finish this up now. So here's what it looks like now. It's not real pretty, but it'll be functional. It'll clear the tire there and should be good enough to get this thing across town. I was looking over here at the rim, and it looks like she got a little bit of the rim and the wheel weight there, but it doesn't look like it's hurt the bead of the tire or anything like that. It might just throw the balance off a little bit, but again, fine for getting across town. And its new owner can kind of finish pulling this out if he wants to. Like I said, I think he's planning on using it as a yard truck, but it doesn't look like it would be too hard to straighten this out a little bit more. So now the taillight, on the other hand, might not be quite so easy. You can see that I know at least one of the wires ripped out of the harness here. I don't know if this is the backup light or the blinker or what. I'm not sure how it's wired. And then these other three and this remaining one over here. Anyway, you can see that this is the contact that goes in the connector. It ripped right out of the connector. So the contact ripped out of the connector housing before it demated from the wire, which was good. I guess those were crimped on the wire good. So here's a look at the taillight. It's actually not too bad. I've got that broken piece there, so it could be glued back together, I guess. I'm going to go back to the scene of the crime and see if I can find the other light bulb and socket. I do have this one. I'm not sure if this is the tail light or the backup light, but we'll go look for the other one now. So what happened was I had come down the driveway in my Tahoe there, and as I was approaching the end of the driveway, I saw my sister driving by, coming from that direction, heading that way. She saw me and decided to stop and ask me a question. So by the time she got stopped, she was up just a little bit past that guardrail that you can see there. And so she started to back up, and when she did, she got a little bit crooked, and the wheel went down off the side of the road, and the rear tail light and quarter panel, as you saw, kind of hit the guardrail. Let's go over and take a closer look. I'm going to look for that other light bulb. So taking a look at the guardrail, I think when she came to a stop, she was about where I'm standing and started to back up in that direction towards my driveway. And as she backed up, I think she was going along just fine until she got about here. And I'm not sure if it's showing up in the camera real well, but there's a low spot in the road. You can almost see there's a patch there that the town put in at some point, but there's still quite a bit of a low spot there. And I think this is what sucked her in and caused her to actually hit the guardrail. I think it must have just threw off the alignment or something, because where she hit it was right about here. There was a chunk of metal from the back of her truck stuck in this seam. I've since pulled it out. And I think she ended up coming to a stop over here somewhere. I think you can see the marks on the guardrail there still. But so anyhow, I'm looking for that missing bulb, and I don't see it over here. So maybe it's still in the truck somewhere and I didn't see it. Maybe it's down in the housing where the tail light would be, or maybe it's in the tail light assembly itself and I just didn't see it. So I'll take one more look around in the grass here and see if I can see it, but if not, I'll head back up to the house. I decided to wrap all of these exposed ends of the wires in some duct tape just to keep them from shorting out, and I'm just going to tuck them in here for now. And like I said before, that should be good enough to get her across town to where this truck needs to go. Hopefully she won't run into any police officers along the way, because, well, she definitely has a taillight out. Before I end the video, I guess we'll take the truck for a short ride and see how it does. This truck, I believe, is the 4-liter V6. It's a 5-speed, and I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but it definitely needs a muffler. So we're just going to move it out of the way here because we have an event going on at the house tomorrow, and we're going to need some of this area for parking. Okay, well, I guess we aren't going to make it up the hill in 2-wheel drive, so I put it in 4. Let's see what happens. Okay, that should be good enough. We'll park it right here next to my old Dakota. It's up out of the way. Okay, so we'll just turn off the wipers, put it back in two-wheel drive, and we'll shut it down. And this should be a good enough spot to leave it until tomorrow. Well, I guess that's going to do it for the 2004 Ford Ranger quick crash repair. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to leave a comment or subscribe, feel free to do that as well. Thanks for watching.